I hail from Central Texas, and I'm very, very proud to say that I have the largest military facility in the world in my district, Fort Hood, Texas. And if you're in the Army, you know where Fort Hood is. In fact, I think if you find any 20-year veteran of the Army, you'll find out they've been to Fort Hood, some of them once, twice, 3, 4 times, because it's a huge training post. And it is the great place, as they call it, in Central Texas. The great place had a great disaster happen to us on November 5th of last year, when Major Nadal Hassan attacked and killed 13 soldiers and a babe in the womb and wounded 43 others. I'm going to argue with you, or state to you here tonight, that a recent report that was put out by a commission was appointed by the Obama administration to tell us about the incident at Fort Hood. I would say if you read that report, or you explained that report to little kids who were locked down at Fort Hood, you wouldn't even know that Mr. Major Nadal Hassan gave every indication that he was a radical Islamic Muslim terrorist, because it's not discussed in this report. We learned all kinds of things the Army needs to do differently, and all kinds of things they need to talk about the chain of command, but we didn't hear anything about radical Islam. We didn't hear anything about this because I would argue, and I think there are people across this country that are arguing, that it was because of political correctness. So why can't we talk about the fact that our enemy seems to be, good intelligence seems to tell us, it is radical Islamic terrorists? Who else has raised this question? Kind of interesting. Time magazine has raised the question in an article, Fort Hood Report, Why No Mention of Islam. Now, that's certainly not a famous right-wing radical group. I would call them leaning over pretty hard to the left. And here's another one. You sure wouldn't consider people at the San Francisco Chronicle to be right-wing wackos, but here it is. Political correction on Fort Hood at the Pentagon.
What Judge is talking about here tonight, Mr. Speaker, is that when you have clear evidence that someone is a radical, has become radicalized, and you have this information and you don't share it, and indeed, as was pointed out tonight, Major Hassan was promoted during this time. Just right up through the ranks, you know, no holes on his promotion, no concern, because of, yes, I'll say it, political correctness. We don't want to offend anybody. I say call a spade, and that's exactly, Mr. Speaker, what Judge Carter is trying to point out to our colleagues tonight. Make sure people understand, if we are serious about protecting this country, the security of this country, we're going to stop all this nonsense, and we are going to call a spade, and we're going to fight terrorism where we find it.
We're going to call a terrorist, and say who he is, what he is, where he comes from, what his background is, and if religion has a part in it, what religion has a part in it.